You are not supposed to be in a relationship until you're fully healed, right? That's what people talk about. And I joined the masses and I entered a relationship before healing, before taking that period to heal. And I'm gonna be extremely transparent in this video because the real is you can't learn everything on your fucking own. I do believe you should take some time, right? But the narrative that time heals all, that shit is not real. Entering a relationship and dating somebody and being with somebody, right? You have to experience things that you do not like, things that you don't fuck with, things that somebody does that really fucks with your head, things that somebody did that made you feel a way that you was okay about. You thought it was okay and you found out that it wasn't. Time puts things in a back burner of your mind, but it doesn't heal you. It doesn't. You need for certain things to be triggered for you to know you're not okay. You need for somebody to say some shit to you that makes you remember a time where somebody else said some shit to you. You need to say some shit is okay for you to see it's not okay. This doesn't happen by staying single. It doesn't. If you got out of a bad relationship and you've been single for 2 years and you worked on yourself, okay, that was cool, but now it's time to come back to the playing field with another person and see how you react to different things. You learn about yourself with yourself, but you learn more about yourself with a fucking person. You do. No matter how much healing you've done, it will not prepare you for a long, serious marriage. It won't prepare you. You need to just get in that shit and do that shit. Our versions of love are all fucked up. They are. And when you're dealing with you and another person that you are in a relationship with or you want to be in a relationship with, you gotta know what you need from them. They gotta know what they need from you because our versions of love are fucked up. What you might think is love, I might not think is love. That might be what you need from me. But because I'm not open to loving you how you need to be loved, I'm not doing those things. Vice versa. Things that I need because your version of love is also fucked up. You're not gonna do what I need you to do for me. You're not, right? Here it is. The percentage of people that are happily married that come out or a good relationship that you could look up to in this generation is slim to none. Everybody has a no knocks to this. It's not your fault. It's how everybody was brought up. Everybody has a baby mom. Everybody has a baby father. Everybody, not everything works out, and that's okay. But what about before these situations? You know, how did we look at love? And we don't have guidance. Not everybody has guidance for what a relationship is supposed to look like. And even the people that have been married long, it doesn't apply everywhere. People have been married long, still in toxic shit. They just chose to die together. That's cool. I'm not even talking about them. I'm talking about the people who, even with them not being perfect, if you hear somebody that has been in a relationship for a long time and they're happily, right? You don't know. They go through their own shit, but they're still happily. You could listen to what they're talking about. You could hear the things that they're saying and you could feel that, they're leading you the right way. They're guiding you. We don't have guidance. What if both you and your partner don't know what real love looks like? What if you've never seen it? What if nobody in your family ever was in love? What if everybody was domestic violence? What is your love going to be? You're literally trying to figure it out yourself. So now when you're trying to figure it out yourself and the other person's trying to figure it out themselves, you're freestyling love. And love is to be freestyled. You're not going to know. But we need examples of what that looks like. We know, and I feel like we gain so much for knowing what we wanted to see but didn't. That's also a thing. That's the harder route. But if somebody could have told you, yeah, yo, when you have your wife, make sure that you always da 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 da. That shit might have stayed with you. Honey, when you have your husband, you da 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 da. That shit could have stayed with you. We don't have that nowadays. We don't. We don't. And men, when you have a fucked up relationship with your mom, people have talked on this already. You don't know how to treat women. You don't know how to look at a woman. You don't know how everybody's this and it all started because your first relationship with a woman was destroyed. So now you don't know how to talk about women. Now you see women as whole bunch of derogatory words because that's what your mom did. It's real out here. I'm not gonna lie. Same shit, different font, girls and fathers. When you don't have a father, you have no model of what to choose in a man. And it's real. It's real. And then you just get whatever. You get whoever. And you have to make these breakthroughs if nobody fucking told you. And the chances of you making a breakthrough, it's just gonna take longer. I'm not saying you're not gonna do it. It's just gonna take longer. Then if you don't have family who have the wisdom in this, what do you have? You have friends. Not saying your friends don't know nothing, but then now you have friends who are also living a similar life of not knowing, and now they're inflicting what you should do onto you, and now you're listening to them. Now they're giving you advice about things that they don't know about, and you're listening to them because you just looking for anybody to tell you anything. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy out here. You're freestyling. You don't know what you like. You don't know what you don't like. And with a person, you have to figure that out. Love is changing. Love is you and your person changing and loving them through that. Because you're forever on a different position. You're forever getting into arguments and you have to come to a resolution. Being in a relationship is a huge mirror being held up to your fucking face. It's a huge mirror being held up to your face and it's telling you who the fuck you are. You say you're this person, you might see a monster. You might say you're this. You might look in the mirror that they're showing you. You're not seeing that shit. And it shows you who the fuck you really are. You're going to see certain versions of yourself that you said that you aren't and you are. You're going to see certain things that you see that aren't okay. And you try to make it okay, but the mirror is showing you the truth. It is not okay. You're damaging somebody by your version of love. You're hurting somebody by the way that you think, vice versa. You feel you're not being understood. What do? You're talking disrespectfully to your partner. You might have things you don't do. Me and my wife, thank God, we don't curse at each other in the heat of the moment. But other people, that's hands. Other people, that's put your hands on me. I'm putting my hands on you. This is all shit that you picked up. A person shows you, right? Your partner. A partner shows you that certain wounds that you thought were closed off are not closed off. They're not. They're not. Things you thought were okay are not okay. And you got to deal with that. Because you were like, damn, I thought this door was closed. The door is wide fucking open. The shit is making your anxiety on 10. The shit is triggering your former trust issues. That like all of a sudden they're here now. And the other person's like, yo, what's wrong? To you, it's like, what the fuck? My wife says something to me beautiful, and healing is not linear. It's not. Your shit is gonna look ugly. Your healing is gonna look real bad. There are times it's gonna look beautiful. There's times you're gonna look knowledgeable because of shit you've been through, right? And which you will be after you went through some shit. But it is an up and down thing. You don't just healing is just up. I'm not gonna sit here and talk about this shit if I didn't go through this shit. I'm just not gonna do that. So me talking about this, I went through it. I'm still doing it. You get what I'm saying? Like being with somebody is work, and nobody. I feel like love is like a fucking illusion, and it's like when you see somebody that's been together for a long time, it's because they did the fucking work. How do you deal with your trauma? It's always gonna be there. It's always gonna be something that they don't know that they did, and they didn't mean it, and they fucked you up. That's just the real. It's always gonna be something to learn and grow. It's not ever gonna be some type of setting you could put yourself on of, oh, I'm not gonna talk or I'm gonna hide this. Or, there's nothing you could do but be open and be vulnerable to your partner, because to love, it's forever changing. You have to learn ways that you go about things, and you have to choose to grow. You can't stay on the same frequency, because then what happens? You start to outgrow each other. And once you start to outgrow each other, it's like, okay, when you guys met, right? You met on that frequency, whatever frequency that was at that period of time. Who knows how many wavelengths of frequency it took for y'all to reach there, for y'all to meet at that moment. Because you're always changing, you got to keep up. You got to keep up. If you don't, then you're going to find somebody here, you know? But if you really want to make this shit work, you got to keep up. And the person got to keep up too. When you with somebody, you are forever learning about them. They're forever learning about you, right? If you're forever learning about you, how are they going to know everything about you? They're not. So loving each other through the change, because you're experiencing more shit, they're experiencing more shit, your views are changing, their views are changing, and it's like, to really make it through with a person while all of that shit is happening, that means y'all both did the work. That means you are actively doing the work to make sure that that person is with you, that you are with them, that you love them like you say you do. Because we all say shit, but the actions are really what show it. We know that. We know the real. People say a bunch of shit, but you gotta do the work. Love is allowing each other to become who you really are. You know, because we're becoming, and you try to prison hold somebody or something you don't like, and you trying to stop that, and you're trying to prevent it. It does not mean stay with anybody that's treating you like shit. That's not what that means. That doesn't mean love people through their changes if they're being abusive, and nah, fuck all that. That means, it means no matter how good somebody is to you, no matter how good your situation is, you're gonna have problems, and you're gonna need to resolve them. And being in a relationship is really resolving those situations, those problems, talking about it, having those hard conversations when you don't want to fucking talk about it, and saying things that you would hide because you feel like the other person won't receive it well. You got to put all that shit on the table. Once you figure out that everything you thought was isn't, and everything you thought was perfect isn't, that's love. There's no fights. There's no such thing as no fights. You get what I'm saying? You go periods without a fight, but like, you need to really work on conflict resolution. And the conflict resolution is what keeps y'all together and keeps you afloat. Love is forever changing. Love is forever growing. Love is forever forgiving, because you are going to hurt each other. And that doesn't mean hurt. How are you going to hurt each other? There's so many ways you could hurt each other. But when you hurt somebody, it's because you didn't view it like this and they viewed it like this. It's just viewpoints and perspective. And to be able to forgive people through that, and in conflict resolution, that is how you're going to always continue to move forward. In conflict resolution is where you make space for both opinions, make space for both how you feel and how I felt. And it doesn't mean that I'm right or you're right. Now, if it calls for it and the facts are there and both partners take accountability, somebody might come out and say they're wrong. That's another huge part that I didn't even touch on: accountability. The ability for somebody to share that something didn't make them feel good, and you did that, and being able to say, yo, I was fucked up and I did this. Yo, I was wrong and I did that. Yo, I hurt your feelings. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. Oh, I said this. Damn. I see how you perceived it. I still said it. I still did it. You get what I'm saying? But being able to understand. I saw this thing. What was it? It was like, yo, if somebody is hurt, right? Somebody's hurt. You don't need to understand why they're hurt if you love them. If you love them, you'll just say, I'm sorry. If you love them, you'll just change your position because you hurt the person that you love. And no explanation is needed if you love that person like that, for you to let them know, yo, my bad. You know? Because why would you want to hurt somebody that you love? There's two ways you could go about it. You could be on the defensive side, or you could get really apologetic. And relationships are so tricky. This is a long ass video. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm gonna leave this up. This shit is therapy. It's therapy for me, cause like, I've been through it. Me and the wife, love her soul. She behind me right here. We do a lot of work. We do a lot of work, and nothing is promised in this life. You and your person, whoever that is, nothing is promised. So the time that we have, we got to learn so much about each other. We got so much. We got to learn about. We're learning about ourselves together because we're married young. You know, we're 24. So it's just like, it's a lot of work, and until God close my eyes, I will be happy to say that I put the work in and I did this. And this is a relationship is a job. I ain't even gonna lie. It's a whole nother sector of life of where you got to put time in. Let me see if I missed anything. No matter how much healing you do on your own, you will never be ready for a fucking relationship. And when I say that, when you're not ready, it means you got to get ready. And getting ready is entering the relationship. That's when you start to That's when the trials start. I ain't even gonna lie. Being in love is being fucking hurt. You have to be willing to be hurt. That's what giving your heart to somebody is. Um, this may this touch the souls of all of the people who are pursuing their pain and their path. You have to do the work yourself, and the person that you love got to do the work themselves, and you guys come together and do the work together, because all this shit really happens. I'm gonna make another video. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy long. I love y'all so much, and I just can't wait for this video to touch souls. I know right now it's not gonna have any views, but it's gonna touch somebody. And I'm just happy because I'm saying it now, but it hasn't happened yet. So I love you guys. Heal, work on yourselves. Single and in a relationship, but don't. Time does not heal all. It doesn't. Your pain is forever. I love you.
Come on, man. The kids listen to you. I show you that.